Here we are for the Vagabond Repertory Theater Company's first scene showcase. All right, we are going to be starting in just a few minutes, but first, let me introduce myself. My name is Dane Forgione. I am the founder of Vagabond Repertory Theater Company and one of the participants tonight as well. So it's nice to meet me. We have our other players here this evening. I will introduce them in just a moment. But first, let me go over the order of segments. Well, as a matter of fact, why don't I introduce each segment and the people who are in the segment? So, we are going to start with segment 1 in a few minutes, called He's the Boy. And we have our 3 lovely participants in that one. They are gathered here this evening. First of all, we have, you last saw her as the brave and wonderful Kai in How to Be a Knight, Genevieve Prevents. Genevieve.
Yes.
Please say hello.
Hello there.
It's good to have you here again. And our leading man and leading lady are a dynamic duo. They have a YouTube channel together, and they are both supremely talented, as is everybody in this cast this evening. But you should definitely check out their YouTube channel, Sophia and Rhett, or Rhett and Sophia. I forget which whom has the name first, but we have Mr. Rhett Drennan and Miss Sophia Swade.
Hello.
Yes. They are just 2 of our North Carolina contingent this evening. The third one we will introduce in just a few minutes. So, segment number 2. For those of you who saw our 2020 season preview in Staten Island at the Little Victory Theater, they will have seen this scene before, but we are performing it again because it was just so darn good. It is the business deal edition, and along with me is my dear good friend Juliana Souza.
Hello.
Hello. She's raring to go, I can tell.
Yes.
Our third segment, I'm very excited about this one. We've been working very hard on this. Is a scene entitled Daniel, My Brother. And my scene partner for that scene is the incomparable Shannon Shipp, whom you last saw as Grace Duvall in our Young Sherlock Holmes reading, and you'll be seeing her again very soon in The Guardian Game as Mindy Jenkins. Hello, Shannon.
Hi.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Our fourth segment, doesn't really have a name. It's just an improvised scene. Myself and my stalwart companion, Michael Riley, will be improvising a scene, and everybody else here will be giving us suggestions for the scene. And we might even ask somebody in the audience to give us a suggestion for a scene. Michael, my boy, how are you?
I am good. Thank you for asking, Dane. Are we all talking like this now?
Birdman kick my butt!
Birdman kick my butt!
Spider-Man stole my property! And our main event this evening, the 5th and final segment. You also saw this scene at our preview show. It is the young hunter and the goddess of nature. Michael Riley is also in that piece.
Yes.
But our final 2 participants amongst our players are also in it. First of all, our leading man is Jackson Babelis. Jackson, you've been very silent so far. Let's see you say hey.
Hi.
Say hey.
Hey. And our lovely leading lady, the third member of our North Carolina contingent, Miss Emerson Bishop.
Hi. Oh, wait. I am on. Hi.
Hi. Oh, wait. Hi.
Hi. I mean hi. I mean hi. I mean hi.
I mean bye. I mean hi.
Hello. I must be going.
Yes. So, we're gonna get started in just a minute, but just to give you guys a preview of what's to come in the next few weeks for Vagabond Repertory Theater Company under our Vagabond Digital name, July 17th. It's our Christmas in July special. And four of our cast members here tonight are in that show. The story of No Name the Elf, Juliana, Rhett, Genevieve, and Mike are amongst the many, many talented people in that cast. I'm very excited about that. And then, right after that, as I said, you will be hearing the lovely Shannon Ship in the Guardian game, along with some guy named Dane Pastavajoli. I don't know. He's such a hanger-oner. But
I would like to point out that you've made that same joke every single show.
All right, I might as well confess. I've been programmed with the same 7 jokes over and over again.
What's to confess? I've known you long enough. I know the truth.
I mean, unless somebody upgrades me to Windows 95, I'm sorry to say I don't have any more jokes that I can give.
I'm sorry, Dane, but Bill Gates is unavailable.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know.
Wow, we have a lot of people coming into the chat. Hello, everyone. This is exciting. I'm very excited about this. All right. We are going to get started with segment 1. Sophia, Rhett, and Genevieve are getting into their places now. This one is called He's the Boy. A tale of a crush, first love, where a girl realizes that the boy she thinks is the perfect boy is not all that it seems. And we're going to find out what that is. So, actually, I'm going to be getting my narration chops in. So let me get myself in position. And we are going to begin. Here we go. This is segment 1. He's the boy. All right. Lights up onto a bare stage. There is no particular location for this piece, and it is set in modern times. We hear the sounds of people in a park, indistinct talking, kids playing, dogs barking, etc. Slowly, out on stage comes a boy of about 12 to 13 years of age. He is the typical handsome boy next door type. He carries with him a pencil and some sheets of paper. He is Peter Butler. He walks over to a spot on stage and sits down, putting his pencil to his chin in thought, then jotting something down on the paper. He is writing something, a poem or a song perhaps. For a few moments, he is alone with his thoughts, until, slowly, a girl pokes her head out on stage and looks around. When she spots him, she gasps in delight, then happily steps onto the stage and gazes at him. This is Annie, also around 12 to 13 years of age. She's pretty, kind, and dresses normally and modestly. She grins a smitten grin as she looks at Peter.
Oh goodness, there he is. What a dreamboat. What a guy.
She lets out a giggle as soon a second girl comes out on stage and stares at Annie, a smirk on her face. This is Tracy, Annie's friend. Tracy moves up behind Annie, then speaks.
You might want to find a place to hide behind. I mean, staring out in the open probably isn't the best idea.
Tracy, for goodness sake, do you want me to have a heart attack?
I mean, you still have my Taylor Swift CDs at your house. I'd kind of like to have them back sometime this century. Ah, yeah, I see you're staring all goo-eyed at Peter Butler again.
What gave it away?
Well, I mean, considering he walks over to that spot almost every day after school to sit and write, and you creep over to this exact spot to watch him like a lovesick puppy almost every day after school, call it a lucky guess.
Well, I mean, can you blame me though? Oh, Tracy, you don't know what Peter does to me. He's got the nicest hair, the cutest eyes, the most dashing smile. He's perfect personified.
I mean, you're not wrong. He's a cutie pie, that's for sure, but Annie, I mean, come on.
I wouldn't give to talk with him just once. To go out to a movie with him, I mean, I'd give up my year's worth of allowance for just one kiss with him. His lips pressed to mine. Oh, goodness, just imagine.
She closes her eyes and puckers out her lips. Tracy stares at Annie as if she's gone insane.
Good Lord. Or to Annie. Come in, Annie.
Huh? Oh, I did it again, didn't I?
Close your eyes and pucker it up, imagining Peter Butler kissing you on the lips. Yeah, you did.
Sorry.
Girl, you're my best friend, but sweetie, please, you do not need to do that. It's totally adorable, but it's also totally weird. And you've got to stop reading those trashy romance novels your older sister Jenny is hidden in her room.
Right underneath her bed, the left-hand side. Almost 2 years and she's never changed the hiding spot.
Annie, you want something to happen between you two? It's really simple. Now just go with me on this, walk over to him, wave your hand at him, and say, hi.
Hi?
Hi.
Tracy, it's not that simple.
You know, last time I checked, saying hi wasn't rocket science.
What I mean is, Peter he's so perfect. I mean, what would he want to do with a girl like me? I'm just kind of ordinary, don't you think?
There you go, calling him perfect again. Annie, sweetie, trust me what I tell you. No boy, not even Peter Butler's perfect.
Says you.
I mean it. Everyone has their wrinkles. That exposes them as human beings. That includes Peter. Don't build him up as perfect, flawless Greek god. Is he cute? Sure. Is he nice? Sure. Perfect? Not quite.
Tracy, you're my best friend. But this is not best friend talk. No offense.
I mean, for your own good, that's all. Just talk to him like normal. Treat him like normal. It'll be a heck of a lot better for you. And you won't set yourself up for disappointment. Trust me. I know what I'm talking about.
Well, up she goes.
What does she know? Peter Butler, to me, is any ordinary boy. He's the boy.
Slowly, as Annie starts to walk over towards Peter, she begins to sing.
He's the boy, he's the boy, he's the boy, he's the boy, he's my Romeo. Oh, 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 oh. He's the boy, he's the boy, he's the boy, he's the boy, he's my R-O-M-E-O, Romeo. He's the boy, he's the boy, he's the boy, he's the...
Stop! Annie suddenly stops, and Peter looks up from his writing. He looks around in confusion. He's heard Annie singing, obviously. Annie stands stone still and looks to the audience, putting a finger to her lips in a shh gesture. Peter finally shrugs and goes back to his writing.
Phew, that was close. I better not press my luck. No more singing.
Nervously, Annie finally taps Peter on the shoulder. He looks up from his writing, then looks over his shoulder at Annie.
Hey, Peter.
Oh, hey, Annie. How's it going?
You know my name?
Well, I mean, yeah. We've gone to school together since kindergarten.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, what's up, Annie? Did you need something?
Oh, well, I was just wondering if maybe I could sit with you for a bit? If you wanted the company, that is.
It's a free country. Sure, make yourself comfortable.
Annie looks to the audience and mouths the words, "Oh my God," in excitement. However, soon she clears her throat and looks to Peter.
Why, thank you. I shall.
With that, she sits down and gazes with a smitten smile at Peter. Peter goes back to his writing as Annie continues to stare. Peter soon feels her eyes on him, and he slowly looks up.
Hey, Annie, can I ask you something?
Anything?
How long were you gonna stare at me before you said something?
I'm sorry about that. I saw you writing, and I was curious to see what you were writing.
Well, I was writing a poem, actually.
He's a poet? Artistic? You stole my heart. I'm awful sorry for staring. Goodness, I must look like a Looney Tune. I didn't mean to.
No worries, Annie. You're fine.
Thanks. So, you like to write poetry, huh?
Yeah, I find it helps clear my mind when I'm sitting by myself, especially if I've had kind of a crummy day.
A brooding artist. How romantic.
I've written a few pieces. Not very good, honestly.
Well, gosh, how do we know if you don't read them out loud?
I guess that's true.
Would you mind reading one of them, that is?
Well, I mean, I don't know. This one isn't finished yet, and so far it's kind of crummy. You probably won't like it.
I won't know that until you read it. Please, for me, just once, that's all.
Well, gosh, sure, why not? I can't say no to something like that.
He smiles a dashing smile at her as she turns away and admits a smitten squeak of joy.
Oh, if my heart was beating any faster, it'd rip through my chest. Steady, Annie. Keep it together.
Did you say something?
Huh? Oh, no, I just, I thought I saw a bird. Yeah, a bird.
Bird?
So, your poem?
Oh, sure. I don't really have a title for it yet. I usually think of the title last. I've come to a field on a glorious day. It might be in April, perhaps in May. I sit and I stare at nature around me. Such a glorious, beautiful sight to see. I open my mouth, but out comes no sound. Nature is so beautiful. It's nice and, round. I, kind of got stuck on the rhyming sound, as you can see.
It didn't sound bad to me.
No?
No. In fact, gosh, it was beautiful, Peter.
Tell me about all that.
And hey, if it'll help, nature is so beautiful. It's a flawless mound. You know, like mounds of dirt from the ground.
Say, that's pretty good. A lot better than round.
Aw, shucks.
Annie, thanks a bunch for that. I really appreciate the help.
You do?
Sure I do, but then again, it doesn't really shock me that you gave me a good rhyme. I mean, you're a whiz in English class.
You think so?
Yeah, in fact, you're a whiz at almost everything in school.
You think I'm smart?
Of course. I mean, I think a lot of things about you. Now that I think about it, you're smart, you're funny, you're friendly, you're pretty.
Pretty?
Very pretty.
Tracy was wrong. It's perfect.
Oh, sorry about that. This is kind of embarrassing. Oh, it's my dad. Hey, Dad. Can I call you back in like 5 minutes? Why? Well, I'm talking to a friend of mine. Oh no, you don't know her. Her name's Annie. Dad, I'll call you back in 5 minutes, I promise. Dad, I told you. I'm not doing this anymore. After the last time, I've had enough. I don't care how much money you're going to pay me for doing it. I'm not doing it. Dad, stop yelling. Dad, come on. Can someone else do it? Throw me out. Dad, are you insane? You can't throw throw me out. I have no place to go. Mom left for California, and we don't have any close family anywhere near us. Dad, I'm not about to get blackmailed into doing this. Look, I'm done arguing. I'm not doing it, and that's final. Throw me out if you want, but I'm not going to be your mule anymore. Drop dead, huh? No. How about you drop dead? You piece of crap, you drop dead.
Peter?
What?
Is everything okay?
Are you listening into my conversation? Jesus, there's no privacy anymore?
I'm sorry, but
Look, what my dad said to me is my business, not yours.
Are you in some kind of trouble? Peter, you can talk to me.
Hey, mind your business and buzz off, would you? I want to be alone.
I...
Buzz off!
Okay. I'm sorry. I'll go.
Peter, together. I cannot cry. Get together. Why does he do this to me? Can he be like a normal dad? Why didn't I just go live with Mom? I said go away.
Peter, talk to me. Tell me what's wrong.
It's fine.
That didn't sound fine to me.
Live.
Peter, you have my word. I won't tell a soul. Please talk to me. You can't live like this, bottling it all up. It's agony, please. If not for me, for yourself.
My dad, he's a scuzzball.
I can tell.
He was really mean to my mom. He'd hit her all the time, even for the little things that went wrong around the house. My mom finally couldn't take it anymore. She filed for divorce last year. She moved to California to live with my aunt and uncle. I wanted to go with her. My mom said I needed to stay with Dad so he wouldn't completely fall apart. But it's like torture. He puts me down all the time. He makes fun of me, treats me like dirt. And because he doesn't have a job, he gets money to live by, let's just say, less than legal ways.
Less than legal?
He steals expensive stuff from stores. You know, power tools, laptops, things like that. And he sells them around town to people for a discount. I mean, he makes a profit since he stole the things to begin with, but a discount nonetheless. And it makes me be the mule. I have to go and bring these items to people, and they give me money in return. My dad says I can have a cut of it, but I said no way. I'm not going to get my hands dirty.
Does he like that?
I mean, who'd suspect a kid like me of being a thief's accomplice, right?
My gosh.
I hate doing it. I don't want to, but it's the only time my dad treats me in any way resembling a human. But I'm getting tired of it. The guilt, the danger. I told him I want to stop. Told him to get another mule, but he just kicked me out of the house. 12 years old, and I've been kicked out of my own house. I have nowhere to go, no one to turn to. Annie, I'm screwed. I don't know what I'm going to do. My dad said I can come and get my things, but after that, he's throwing me out.
Peter softly begins to cry as Annie gazes at Peter with pity and sadness.
Tracy was right. It's not always perfect. There could always be a wrinkle, even if that wrinkle isn't your fault.
Peter gently starts to cry more as Annie gives him a hug. Surprised, he hugs back.
What's this?
You're not alone. I want to help.
You?
Peter, I'm going to be blunt. I have a gigantic crush on you. Have for the past 2 years or so. But this isn't about crushes. This is about decent humanity. I used to look at you as this flawless, perfect boy, that your life was great in every way.
You did?
Yeah. But I think I'm starting to realize that Well, life sometimes isn't perfect. It's not exactly a fairy tale. But you know what? That's okay. It's all okay. It's gonna be fine.
Promise,
I promise.
Annie?
Hmm?
I kinda, sorta have a crush on you too.
You do?
Yeah?
You want to talk more about it? At my house, my parents can make you dinner, and then you can relax while we think about how to stop your father from doing this, or maybe find a way to get in touch with your mother.
At your house, you say? I think I'd like that very much.
Me too.
Slowly, gently, Peter leans in and kisses Annie on the cheek, a lingering kiss of about 2 to 3 seconds.
Thank you.
Anytime.
The two hug once more and, slowly, holding hands, they walk off stage. However, after a few moments, Annie comes back on and looks to the audience.
He's not the perfect boy. No one really truly is. But to me, he's still the boy. My Romeo.
Good job, you three. Good job.
Thank you.
So, confession time. Oopsie poopsie on me. I accidentally muted myself. So, some of the narration wasn't heard. I take full responsibility for that, but honestly, it went great. You really didn't need the narration after all. You guys did great. So good job to Rhett and Genevieve and Sophia.
Yes, during that
All
scene,
right.
Dane was like, I'm starting to think they can't hear me. And I was like, you were muted.
Oopsie poopsie.
Yeah, dumb.
You big dumb dummy dumb butt.
All right.
And
It's
you
okay.
know,
Go
one of
anyway.
the ironic thing. The
Nope.
ironic thing, folks, is that in past rehearsals, I've told the kids to be careful about accidentally muting yourself, and I went and did that very thing. So see, that's why you gotta watch your mutes, folks. Watch your mutes.
Moving on.
All right. We are going to mosey right along to segment 2. Let's get Juliana ready in the house. She's moving into her position now. This is Christmas, the business deal edition. Sort of take on a wish list for Christmas. I've always been fascinated with what if people treated Christmas like a business meeting. Well, we are about to find out what that is like. So why don't you picture this, if you will. There are 2 chairs set up on the stage, and an elf is seated on the stage, looking very businesslike and professional. He silently waits for someone to arrive for several moments. Soon, we hear a knock on the door. Come in. The door opens and in walks a girl aged around 11 or 12 years of age. She is also dressed very businesslike and official. She carries with her a folder. She walks over to the elf and shakes his hand.
Morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Fine, you?
Fine.
Good. Yes.
Quite.
Seat?
With pleasure.
She slowly sits as the elf presses on his intercom. Rudolph, hold my calls. My 11:30 is here. Okay, then, let's begin, shall we? Name?
Shirley Bassett Hound.
Is Bassett your middle name, or is your last name Bassett Hound?
The latter.
Boy, that's a rather silly last name. Like the dog, almost.
Can we show a bit of decorum, please? This is a serious business meeting.
Right, sorry. So, list, please.
Here you go. You'll find all pertinent information there. I think you'll find that I've been quite good this year.
Therefore, all requests you see should be doable.
Let me be the judge of that. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Uh-huh.
come on, don't leave me hanging here.
Please, let me do my due diligence.
My apologies. Continue.
Okay, well, I have a few concerns here.
Oh boy, I always get the elf with the concerns. Okay, fine. What is it?
Okay, well, this list, for the most part, is fine. You asked for a new bike, some makeup, and a new pair of sneakers. All very doable, and I know Mr. Claus will sign off on it. However, there's the matter of page 2, paragraph 3.
Are you referring to my request for a puppy?
That's the one.
That seems reasonable to me.
Well, quite frankly, Miss Hound.
Basset Hound.
Right. Miss Basset Hound. I'm reading your naughty to nice ratio on page 1, and quite frankly, I'm not impressed with these numbers. Nor do I think Mr. Claus will be. I mean, to warrant getting a puppy.
And what, pray tell, is wrong?
Well, I refer you to your yearly status report.
I would like to point out, for the record, that report is riddled with exaggerations and hearsay.
I see. So you mean to tell me that when you dumped an entire carton of milk on Susie Crabgrass's hair because, and I'm quoting, that big stupid dummy head was looking at me all funny. Like what? Did she want to fight me? I'll mess her up. Is in fact an exaggeration?
It is.
I see. And what would your version of the events be?
Well, Susie made fun of my hair. She said it was, and I quote, meh.
Meh?
Meh! Can you believe that little shrew?
For meh, you do that?
My family doesn't like being med. What can I say?
Moving on, a few lines down, I see that in August of this year, you put a lit firecracker into Peter Dinkelmeyer's Jell-O pudding, then laughed like, and I quote directly from your file, a hyena with a hernia.
Well, I mean, come on. It was funny. He got pudding all over his eyes, his nose, his clothes. Wouldn't have you laughed?
Considering I live in the North Pole, and I'm more just an abstract concept of Christmas if you want to be technical, no, I would not.
Abstract. Give me a break, Harold.
Please address me by my elf name. It is not Harold. It's Tinkle Tinsel.
Whatever.
Shirley, I'm sorry, but if you want this puppy, we're going to need to do some serious work here. It's mid-October right now, so you have a bit of time. If you were to have no more naughty incidents on your report, we may give you the okay. As of now, a puppy is simply a no-go.
I will refer you to page 3 of my Christmas list. Paragraph 2, line 5.
Incriminating evidence?
Mm-hmm.
Of Mrs. Claus, or rather Mr. Claus, hyped up on caffeine and candy? Swinging from a chandelier at the Easter Bunny's house?
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't release that picture, would you? It would be a serious PR blow.
Well, I think maybe, just maybe, if I were to get that okay, you might find that that picture will get deleted from my iPhone, if you catch my drift.
Blackmail. Oh. Oh, goodness. I think we've come to an agreement.
Puppy?
Puppy.
Picture deleted. Here, good faith gesture.
Good to do business with you.
To you as well. Yes,
Quite.
indeed.
Okay, so, you have our main telephone line if you have any questions. We'll see you after Thanksgiving for your last report.
Absolutely.
Good day.
Good day.
They shake hands and Shirley gets up to leave. All business.
Oh, and Tinkle?
Yes.
Merry early Christmas.
Merry early Christmas. With that, he smiles and nods a goodbye as Shirley looks to the audience briefly.
Wait till I show them the picture of Mrs. Claus with spaghetti on her head singing opera at Blitzen's birthday party. I'll get 3 puppies at that point.
For those of you who are not aware, Juliana, in fact, has 3 dogs in her house, so things worked out quite well, actually. What's that?
Coincidence.
I think not. All right. Here we go. This one is going to be...
This one's going to be tough for Dan.
Yeah. I normally don't like to talk about the genesis of my scenes, but this one comes from a very personal place. This is Daniel, my brother, and the role of Daniel, well, the character of Daniel, is an amalgamation of 3 people that I knew in high school and college. 2 of them who are no longer with us. And if you take away one thing from this script, it's that no matter what, if anybody is suffering from this kind of from any kind of addiction, just know that there's hope and there's help. There's always people out there who love you and will support you no matter what. Mr. Riley will be doing the narration for this piece. And Shannon is getting into her place. And I'm getting
before we start this scene, one little bit of warning to the viewers. This is the PG-13 scene of the showcase. There will be 1 S-bomb and 1 F-bomb. Prepare yourselves for it now.
That is correct. Anybody of a constitution of that nature, just be forewarned.
This is a very, very serious scene. Most likely the most serious scene you are going to hear tonight. So just prepare yourselves.
Yeah. Okay, Mike. Just when you're ready, we can start.
All right. Let's do this. Lights up on the interior of a young girl's bedroom. There's a desk and a chair set up, along with a bed. On the bed are various piles of clothes, obviously meant to be brought down to be washed, but for now, in an unkempt pile. There's a figure already on stage as our scene begins. It's a girl of about 13, maybe 14 years of age. She's sitting at her desk, typing on a laptop. This is Madeline. She's a studious-looking, smart, mature beyond her years teenager. She's focused on her typing as we watch her for several moments.
The causes of World War I can't be put into black and white terms.
there are many underlying themes and events that took place in the years prior to 1914, that it was only a matter of time before war erupted between powers in Europe. It was not just the assassination of Archduke Francis Ferdinand that caused war to finally boil over. There was so much more. Now, if I can just stretch this into 5 pages.
We suddenly hear the sound of tapping at her window. Madeline is not aware of it at first, but as the tapping grows louder, almost impatient, then turns into knocking, she slowly looks up from her laptop and raises a brow.
What the? Is someone there? Hello? I'm warning you now. Whoever is out there, I have a baseball bat under my bed and I'm not afraid to use it. Okay, honestly, it's a softball bat, but those hurt pretty hard too. Who the heck is it? I'll call the cops.
Suddenly, a figure bursts onto the stage. Madeline screams in surprise, but she soon recovers. Onto the stage comes a man of about 30 years of age. He is disheveled and seems like he has been on the run from someone or something. He stares at her for several moments. Then, he smiles calmly.
Madeline, hey sis. Long time no see.
Daniel? Daniel! Oh gosh, you scared the hell out of me. I had no idea it was you.
Well, what can I say? I like to make an entrance.
Do Mom and Dad know you're here?
No.
Oh, hey, let me go and wake them. Though seeing as how they haven't said a word after I screamed, they're probably in deep, deep sleep right now.
No, kiddo. Let Mom and Dad sleep. I'll see them in the morning. But, could you maybe get me a couple of towels? I'm really damp and wet. It was raining outside earlier.
Oh, well, sure. I'll get them right now.
She exits off the stage for a moment. Slowly, Daniel surveys the room. He rifles through a few things around his immediate vicinity, then slowly pulls out what appears to be a wallet. Without hesitation, he pulls out the money that was in said wallet, pockets it, and then pulls out 2 small baggies of a white, powdery substance. He plants them in the wallet, making sure to smooth them out, before he puts the wallet back. Seconds later, Madeline emerges back on stage with 2 towels as Daniel pretends to be looking at some papers.
Here you go. Some dry towels for your highness.
Thanks, Maddie.
Daniel takes the towels, dries his hair as he motions to the papers.
So, I see you're getting straight A's, as per usual.
Not all straight A's. There are a few B's in there somewhere.
Oh, come on. You, Mad Genius Madeline? Please. You could get straight A's in your sleep. You could put in almost no effort and you'd probably get honor roll.
Oh, stop it. I'm blushing.
I only speak the truth. So what have you been up to? You know, besides studying like a fiend. You got any hobbies? A boyfriend?
Well, I'm still on the softball team. And I also take karate lessons 1 night a week. And as for a boyfriend, I don't want to say.
Oh, well, if you don't want to say, clearly that means you do. Come on. Come on. Who's the lucky fella, huh?
Oh, will you stop poking me?
Not until I get a name.
Okay, fine. His name is Austin. We met last year when he moved into town. He's such a sweetie. So kind, smart, good looking. He asked me out 2 months ago and, well, I said yes.
He spots a picture frame and holds it up to her.
Is that him?
Oh, yeah. That was from the spring dance we had last month. Doesn't he just look so adorable in a suit?
Clearly.
You know, we had our first kiss that night.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. He walked me to the front door after the dance, and it just happened. I mean, it was just a peck, but still, his lips touched mine. Oh gosh, I felt like I was in another world.
It kind of killed the moment when Dad opened the door in his ratty old bathrobe and said, "Well, champ, you got her home 10 minutes early. I approve." But it was a great night, nonetheless.
Well, that's Dad for you. Always coming in at just the right moment.
Throughout the scene, Daniel has been exhibiting junkie-like signs, sniffing, scratching his arms, etc. It has been just subtle enough for Madeline not to notice, but she now seems aware of it.
Hey, so are you okay?
What do you mean?
I mean, you keep sniffing a lot and rubbing your arms. Oh gosh, you're not catching a cold, are you? Poor thing.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Yep, that's probably what it is. Oh, damn colds.
So, never mind me. What about you, Daniel? You just got out of rehab, huh?
Huh?
Well, I mean, remember 2 years ago? You were going away to rehab because of the problems you were having?
Problems?
Well, I mean, yeah. Daniel, I'm not a baby anymore, and I'm not naive either. I know why you had to go away for a while. It was cocaine. Cocaine and heroin, right?
I thought you didn't know.
Daniel, come on. This is me you're talking to. I know I'm younger, but I'm not some kind of sheltered princess who knows nothing about the world.
Who told you? Mom and Dad?
I figured it out myself. Mom and Dad insisted you were going away with friends to get this, a camp.
A camp? They told you I was going to a camp?
Yeah, can you believe it? They really thought I'd believe for 1 second that you, a grown man, would be going to an adult camp. Kids go to camp, not adults. Everyone knows that.
Absolutely. Can't believe Mom and Dad thought they could put one over you. You are the smart one in the family, after all.
So what was it like? The rehab. Did it help you at all?
Well, I mean, here I am. I'm out, right? Obviously it helped.
That's wonderful. Daniel, you have no idea how much I prayed for you when you left. How much I hoped and wished for you to get better. Every night, I'd wish on a star that you get rid of these demons inside of you. And it worked. I'm so glad you're home now.
I'm glad I'm home too, kiddo.
They drift into silence. Soon, though, Madeline smiles and gets up, walking over to her closet and rifling through it.
What you doing over there?
Looking for something. I know it's in here somewhere.
Can it wait till morning? I'm kind of beat. Was thinking of going to sleep. You don't mind if I crash on the floor, do you?
It'd only take a second. Ha! Here it is.
Madeline walks back over to Daniel, holding a homemade card with drawings on it and decorated in stickers and glitter and things. She holds it up to Daniel, who raises a brow, confused.
Oh, come on. You don't remember this?
Should I?
Daniel, I'm surprised at you. This is our card. The card.
Daniel's still confused.
You know, the card I wrote you before you left for rehab? And the response you wrote on it?
Now he starts to remember.
Yeah, I remember. Gosh, it was only 2 years ago, but it feels like a blur.
Oh, I figured. I suppose it was the, well, you know, clogging your memory. I've kept it in my room these last 2 years.
She smiles and begins to read it out loud.
Daniel, my brother, I love you. You're the bravest, greatest brother a girl could ever have.
Oh, this is making me blush.
I hope you have fun at camp. Please come back to us soon. Love always, your sister, Maddie. I more like to go by Madeline nowadays than Maddie, but you get the idea.
I do.
But hey, remember your response?
She pauses, giggles, and hands the card to Daniel.
Since you wrote it, why don't you read it,
I was never a good reader, kiddo. I don't know if I could.
Well, come on. If you can survive rehab, you can read a few sentences.
Daniel can't help but smirk.
Maddie, thank you for your wonderful card. Remember, no matter what happens, I love you. Keep this card as a reminder that we'll always be family and we'll always be in each other's hearts. Daniel.
I've read that so many times, it never fails to make me smile.
She places the card aside, then goes back to Daniel and speaks.
Daniel, do you mind if I ask you something? And you, of course, don't have to answer if you don't want to.
Ask away.
What was it like?
The rehab?
Mm-hmm. How did you guys learn to get away from addiction?
Oh, a couple of different things. Meditation, Tai Chi, yoga, exercise, that sort of stuff.
If you want a really cool form of exercise, you should try karate, like I do. You'll get stronger physically and mentally.
I might take you up on that.
In fact, I think Sensei Dan, that's his name, Dan, runs some classes for adults. I'll ask him tomorrow.
Well, that sounds great.
So this rehab place, what was it called? Where was it really? Was it around here?
Oh yeah. It was called New Horizons. It's about a 45-minute drive from here.
That doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of sad, angry people there. But then again, I was sad and angry too. But it was a place to get better. Not to dwell in the past. No, it was looking towards a better future.
Ooh, how profound.
Well, it's like the motto of the place was, Great Horizons. The future is yours to seize.
Oh gosh, that sounds wonderful.
After a beat, Madeline slowly raises a brow and looks to Daniel. A red flag seems to have been raised.
Wait, Great Horizons? I thought it was New Horizons.
What did I say?
You said New Horizons first, then Great Horizons. Which was it?
I said New Horizons both times.
No, you clearly said two different names.
Hey, look, I know what I said. Hell, I was there for 2 years. I remember it clearly. New Horizons, just a 90-minute drive from here. The future is yours today. Reach out and grab it.
90 minutes? You said 45 minutes. And you changed the motto from what it was 30 seconds ago.
I didn't.
Daniel, what's going on here? You're not lying to me, are you?
Of course not.
Daniel, come on. I'm your sister. I'm family. You can be honest with me. Are you in some kind of trouble?
No, I'm fine, really. I'm fine. Don't worry.
I'm not so sure about that. I know when you're lying. You can never look people in the eyes when you're lying.
You noticed that from back then, huh?
Daniel, look me in the eyes and tell me where your rehab was.
Daniel looks Madeline in the eyes, though soon his gaze goes guiltily down to the floor. This is all she needs to see. She shakes her head sadly.
Daniel, I'm surprised at you.
It's just the lighting in this room. It's hurting my eyes.
Oh, please. I have one lamp on right now. If that hurts your eyes, you have big problems.
She stands up and nods her head silently. Then she walks over to the pile of clothes on her bed.
Wait a second. I have something here.
Maddie, whatever it is you're thinking of doing, don't. It's fine.
Daniel, no, you can't continue to live like this.
She slowly begins to rifle through her pile of clothes.
Here, I'm going to give something to you.
Daniel nervously begins to realize she's probably looking for her wallet.
Maddie, no.
I insist. I'm going to give you some money. Something tells me that's the issue you have. But you need to promise me you'll use it for something non-drug related. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I just hope you don't make me look like a fool and...
She finally spots her wallet and grabs it as Daniel makes a feeble grab and protest for it. She opens it up, gasps, then drops the wallet back on her bed. Daniel is frozen in shame and panic. He guiltily looks away from Madeline as she, horrified, as well as cautiously, puts on a nearby pair of winter gloves, and gingerly pulls out the 2 baggies. She holds them up slowly as her horror turns to shocked anger.
Daniel, what is this?
Nothing.
Daniel, what is this?
I don't see anything.
Daniel, look at this. Look at it and tell me what you see. Well?
Sugar. Just bags of sugar.
Don't treat me like I'm a moron. I know what this is. Daniel, you snuck this into my room. Planted it in my wallet. Were you trying to pass this on to me so I'd get in trouble for it? I think I'm going to be sick. That was your plan, wasn't it?
Maddie, please let me explain.
What is there to explain? Did you think I'd be so naive and so dumb I wouldn't notice money gone and this in my wallet? I don't even care about the money. I'd gladly give you money if you needed it. But you have the nerve to plant drugs on me. What if Mom and Dad spotted it? Or a policeman? How would I even begin to explain this?
It was only going to be for a few days. I was hoping to keep you from your wallet until then. Then I would have taken them back. The baggies.
What kind of harebrained scheme is that? Newsflash, Daniel. I go to school every day, and I use money to buy lunch. Eventually, I would have stumbled onto this. I can't believe what I'm hearing. It's like a punch to the gut. What else have you lied about? What else have you...
She pauses, and now she has another horrifying thought. She whirls around and faces Daniel.
Did you graduate from the rehab center? Or did you escape from it?
Maddie, please. Please calm down.
Did you graduate from the rehab? Or did you escape? I want the truth! The truth!
A long, ominous pause. Daniel seems to be trying to formulate some kind of concocted story, but he can't think of one. Madeline remains steadfast, staring him down. Daniel finally backs up a step, then lowered his head.
Escaped.
What?
I escaped. Okay, I escaped. Are you happy now? I couldn't stand being in that place. I was a prisoner. No matter how clean I insisted I was, they wouldn't let me leave. I wasn't ready yet. I had to leave. I had to.
God, is this like harboring a fugitive? Will Mom and Dad get in trouble for you being here?
Of course not. Maddie,
Shut up! Just shut up! I don't want to hear any more of your crap. You've been lying this whole time to me. What's to stop you from lying more?
She frowns and rushes over to her window, opens it, and tosses the baggies out into the night. Daniel is horrified, but he catches himself from making any loud noises.
No! No, 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 no!
He rushes to the window and looks out, then turns to Madeline.
You idiot! You stupid freaking idiot! What the hell did you do? I needed that!
Daniel, those drugs made you into a monster. A shell of yourself. And I don't like it. You never got clean, did you? You relapsed or something, didn't you?
Lower your voice.
I'm not going to lower anything. I'll talk as loud as I want. Daniel, you need help. You need to go back to rehab. I'm sorry it sucked for you, but you just can't leave. You need to get clean.
Well, maybe I don't want to get clean. Maybe I just want to live my life on my terms. You ever think of that? Those drugs, they're the only thing that make me feel remotely okay. I don't feel pain or anxiety when I use them. I feel good.
Daniel, doesn't your health and happiness mean anything to you? Doesn't Mom and Dad mean anything to you?
She holds up the card from before to him sadly.
Doesn't this us mean anything? Your own sister.
Daniel eyes Madeline up and down. Soon, due to her throwing the baggies out, Daniel's face hardens, and a look of anger, even hatred, etches in. He grabs the card, looks at Madeline, and proceeds to rip it to pieces. Madeline gasps in disbelief.
No!
You see this? This doesn't mean shit to me.
He scatters the pieces to the floor.
Daniel, why?
You think I gave a damn about this stupid thing? I only wrote what I wrote to shut you the hell up. It was a stupid, sappy, babyish letter written by a stupid, sappy, babyish person. You wanted the truth? There's the truth. You don't like it? Well then, tough. You're a teenager now. You need to learn a life lesson, kiddo. Sometimes, life isn't all sunshine and lollipops. It's not a damn fairy tale. In fact, dare I say it, life sucks. Get used to it.
Get out.
Excuse me?
Get out! Get out of here now!
You're trying to kick me out? Seriously?
Get the hell out of here, Daniel! Out! 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 Get out of my room! Get out of this house! Get out of Mom and Dad's life! Get out of my life! Get out! You disgusting lying junkie!
Oh, so you think you suddenly have the power to do this, huh? Suddenly you're the woman of the house?
Madeline doesn't bend. She points to offstage and stares Daniel down defiantly. Daniel finally snaps and screams out,
Fine. Fine! You want me out of here? I'm fucking out of here! I'm gone! You'll never see me again! I hope you drop dead!
Get out!
Daniel angrily opens the window and goes out into the night. Madeline shuts the window with force. She stares off stage for several moments, then her anger morphs into sadness. She, almost in an unusual calm, gathers up the ripped pieces of the card. She takes it all in, holding the pieces in her hands. Finally, she lets them drop, and she collapses onto her stomach in bed, sobbing hysterically. She cries for several moments as we suddenly hear the knock at her door. Madeline? Madeline, it's Dad. What's going on in there? Mom and I heard some shouting.
It's nothing, Dad. It's fine.
Sure didn't sound like nothing.
It's from outside, down the street, Dad. It's fine. We went back into their house now. Just go back to sleep, Dad.
Well, all right. If you say it was outside, it was outside. Good night, sweetie. Madeline slowly picks up a piece of the card that landed on her bed, gazes at it sadly, then again she lets it drop from her hand, and she goes back to silently sobbing herself as the lights slowly fade to black.
Thank you.
Very good job, everybody. A very, very powerful scene by Shannon and Dane. I will be taking over for Dane for a few moments here as we set up for our very next scene. I want to give Dane a little bit of a moment to rest because obviously that scene means a very great deal to him, and he needs kind of a break after that. So we're going to be doing an improvised scene for you in just a moment, but I wanted to kind of give you a little bit of the backstory as to the whole thing between me and Dane and the improv and how we came to be. You see, it was nearly 20 years ago now, a little over 20 years as a matter of fact, that Dane and I met online doing improv in a text chat room. And From there, our friendship evolved, and we began doing improv online. We did a show for several years called You Can't Be Serious, in which we would do improv with our friends on a weekly basis. We taped shows. We did that show for 5 or 6 years, and I think one of the greatest moments of our lives, and one of the greatest moments in the series, was that we were actually able to get together just a couple years ago at the Little Victory Theater in Staten Island, New York, and put on probably the best You Can't Be Serious show we've put on to date, with a outstanding cast of, I would say, but it was like 11 or 12 people. It was an amazing experience, and it was the first time that most of us had met in person, including myself and Dane. And one of my favorite highlights from that particular show was Dane and I did a game of alphabet together that was very well received.
Where we learned that I can't spell correctly.
Yeah. Dane does not know how to do the alphabet, which it's a problem. But I can't count, so I mean we're a package deal. I can't count. He can't do the alphabet, so that's how it goes.
W Finland X A 3 18
Excuse
12.
me, you forgot Portugal.
Oh, sorry.
So yes, Dane and I have been doing improv for the better part of 2 decades. We're very, very comfortable. And to prove to you how comfortable we are with each other when we're doing improv, we're going to do an improvised scene for you right here, right now. As a matter of fact, we're going to be taking suggestions not only from those that are on the call with us today and those of us who are on the show with us today, but we will be taking a suggestion from you, the audience, as well at some point during the scene. What's going to happen?
I do see a couple of people have been chiming in, so there are people there.
Yes, and thank you very much for all of your input. I am enjoying reading the chat tonight. You guys are fantastic. I just want to say that right now. So what's going to happen here is that Dane and I are going to act out a scene, and every once in a while I will yell freeze and stop the scene, and then I will go to one of the other players on the call and ask them for a genre option, such as a foreign country or a fictional character or a style of movie or something like that. And we must continue our scene doing that suggestion, incorporating it into the scene as best as we can. So first and foremost, I would like to go to, let's say, Rhett, for a place where 2 people might meet. Rhett?
How about a bench near the park?
Bench near the park? You want to do that one, Dane? I think we can do that.
Yeah, that seems simple enough.
All right. All right, so we will start the scene, and in due process, we will come to the rest of the cast with suggestions. All right.
Come on, birds. Eat the fish. Eat the fish. Come on, birds. Eat the fish. What are you doing?
Sir, your shoe is untied. I just wanted to point out.
Well, you see, officer, this is the new style. It's called unlacing. All the hip young kids are doing it nowadays.
Well, that's just weird. That's one of the weirdest trends I've ever seen.
Well, let me put it to you this way. People, you know what else is a really cool a trend? People minding their own business. So could you kindly shove off while I feed these birds pieces of fish? Come on, birds.
I am sorry, sir. This is just my beat. I'm just walking it.
I mean, that's fair, but like you're kind of harshing my mellow, and I'm also allergic to your cologne. What is that you're wearing, sir?
Freeze. Hey, Shannon, can you give us a style of movie, please?
Yes, horror.
All right. It's Us brand cologne.
My God. You're one of the tethered, aren't you?
Yes.
And yet you don't sound like you smoked 400 packs a day.
That's because I tend to take care of my body. Listen.
Oh, well, I see.
In addition to being a police officer, I'm also a ventriloquist. Do you want to see my puppet?
I'm extremely terrified right now, I don't know if I want to say no or yes, but I'm going to say yes.
Freeze. Because we don't really have to see it. Hey, Sophia, could you give us a foreign country, please?
Cyprus.
Cyprus. All right.
Cyprus.
Yeah, just think kind of like Greek-ish. Like in the vicinity of Greek.
Okay.
Here is my puppet. He's made of gyros.
Oh my God. That is amazing. You know what's even more amazing?
What?
The fact that this country is broke. Well, broke adjacent, actually.
He's broke adjacent. We have some money. We just don't have all the money. Look how bad my gyro puppet is. The meat is falling out of his mouth.
As a matter of fact, the legs fell off of the puppet. Did you notice that? They're actually 20 feet back.
Well, that's because the legs they were made of lettuce.
I see.
It's hard to keep the legs on the puppet when they're made of lettuce. It's just a...
Is that the ruby barb as the arms?
This is the ruby barb. Yeah.
Oh my, yes.
Freeze.
Wow, that was the worst Cyprus accent ever.
It turned Swedish, I think, near the end. Juliana, give us a cartoon character.
Patrick.
Patrick. Oh, Patrick Star from SpongeBob?
Yes.
All right. Okay, we can do that.
Hey Patrick.
Yeah, what's up, Patrick?
I don't mean to alarm you, but we're sitting in a park, right?
Yeah.
So, shouldn't we be in the water?
Uh-oh. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo, wee woo, wee woo, wee woo.
It's the Tattletale Strangler.
No, this is Patrick.
Oh, you're Patrick?
Yeah.
I thought I was Patrick.
No, this is Patrick.
No, this is Patrick.
Freeze. This is just turning into farce now. Let's see here. Emerson, another style of movie, please.
Sci-fi.
Okay.
Well, gee, Earthling, officer, maybe you should leave me alone so I could go about my business of taking over the Earth. Feeding the birds.
Wait a minute. Take off the mask before I shoot you with my laser gun.
Oh, okay, but I just want to warn you. I look like David Duchovny, but with green skin and scales.
That's okay, creep. I'm a robot.
Why are you making those sounds? That's disturbing.
Because
human.
we don't have the budget for those sound effects.
Oh, we don't have WD-40, I see.
No, that doesn't exist in my future, the RoboCop future.
Okay, hang on. Let me take off my skin.
Freeze. Who have I not gone to? Jackson? I don't think I've gone to Jackson. Hey, Jackson, what fictional character is he under the mask?
Goofy.
Okay, Dane, you're Goofy. But what fictional character is he? Oh, no, I'm just kidding. So, Dane, you're Goofy.
Gosh. You will never catch me, Earthling.
Goofy, I love you. I just wanted to ask you a question. How come you're a dog and you also have a dog as a pet?
You know something, officer? I think you're overthinking things.
I might be overthinking things.
Disney doesn't like when you overthink things, officer. We have an overthinker in section 242. Eliminate him.
Freeze. I think the only person I've gone to now is Genevieve. Genevieve, do you have a favorite author?
I have to say, I do like J.K. Rowling.
Okay.
Can you tell Justin to shut up? No,
J.K. Rowling.
He's just, he's Justin. I can't.
All right. J.K. Rowling, so we're like doing like Harry Potter now. All right. Oh my God, it's Goofy! Expelliarmus!
Petroleum absolutum.
That wasn't a wand. I'm sorry. That was my gun. I apologize.
Sorry, Mr. Potter, but these things happen.
Well, good thing the safety was on. That could have been terrible.
Like, oh, that could have been a tragedy, but
Hey,
wait a minute. I
tell-
didn't know there were guns in Hogwarts.
only one, and we have to share it amongst 300 or 1,000 students that come to the school. But wait a minute. Are you from Diagon Alley?
No.
Are you sure?
I don't know what that is. No, I really don't know what that is, so maybe?
Freeze. All right, chat room, this is your turn. A famous couple.
Famous couple.
Famous couple, chat room.
Michelle, Kingdom Hearts is not a couple.
No, I think she was just referring to the fact that you were being goofy. And also playing Goofy, the character.
Yeah, sure. That's what they all say.
Famous couple.
Couple.
Any couple, doesn't matter.
Any two people.
Yeah. Any famous pairing, as a matter of fact. Doesn't have to be a couple, per se. Adam and Eve. We're Adam and Eve. Well, this is awkward.
Yeah. There doesn't appear to be anybody else around.
Yeah. Do you really feel the need to have such a big fig leaf?
Well, they always say go big or go home, right?
I think in your case we should make an exception.
I think so as well. You want to get some bagels? Or were those invented yet?
Sure. Let's say for the sake of conclusion that they were. And
okay.
Scene. Thank you.
I have to commend Sophia for, of every country in the world, she could have picked something obvious like China or France or England. She picked Cyprus.
Cyprus.
That
I will give it to you.
For a moment.
I will give it to you. We very rarely, when we do things like that and we ask for a foreign country, usually people are like, China, Sweden, France. Never Cyprus. So I'll give it to you. That was a new one.
To be fair,
See what you guys would do.
to be fair, not that I want to name names, but somebody here said Malaysia. I'm not going to name names.
Well, you wanted to see what we would do. As it turns out, people in Cyprus are awfully Swedish.
I learned something today. Goodness gracious!
I almost couldn't hold it together because I was amused by my own accent and then your accent on top of that.
I was quite amused.
And then my Euro puppet was falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
Meaty.
Ooh.
We have one more scene, do we not?
What's that?
I said we have one more scene, do we not?
Yes, we do. The main event, the grand finale of this evening, of an already stacked and wonderful evening. We performed this in February for the season preview. Unfortunately, with the current situation as it is in the country, in the world for that matter, we are performing it again, but this time we are performing it here digitally, and our two leads are recreating their roles on stage, but they are now going to be doing the full piece rather than just a scene from it. So Jackson and Emerson and Mike are getting into their places, and as the narrator, I will be getting into my place as well. This is The Young Hunter and the Goddess of Nature. All right, here we go. The stage slowly lights up as we hear the sounds of nature, birds chirping, the wind blowing, animals scurrying, etc. As the lights fully go up, we hear the following voice, and it says, "All throughout human history, people have worshipped many gods in many cultures, some more than others. But one thing that remains a constant, whether it be the Romans, the Greeks, or even Lithuanian culture, is that sometimes the gods can take human form and meet up with the unlikeliest of people in the unlikeliest of places. Slowly, the figure of a boy comes walking out onto the stage. He carries with him a small crossbow-looking weapon. He looks around on stage for a few moments as if searching for something. This is Lucas. He is dressed in modest peasant garb. He hears the sound of birds chirping and flying off, and he points the crossbow.
Gotcha! Nuts. It flew away. A deer? Huh. Darn. I missed again. I'm just not cut out for this all. I can't seem to get anything in my sights, but even so, I don't feel right killing an animal. But I heard what my dad and two older brothers said, of course, before I left the house. Either come back with a dead animal for us to eat, or don't bother coming back at all. I guess that's what I need to do. If only there was something else I could do to prove I'm a man to them.
With that, he continues to walk around the stage, crossbow at the ready. Soon, a pink light bathes the stage briefly, going back to normal before Lucas can notice anything. However, he soon smells the air and he smiles a bit.
Wow. I might be going crazy, but it smells like such a nice, wonderful perfume. Such a sweet and heavenly scent. Where could that be coming from?
Suddenly, we hear the light, airy giggle of a young girl. It echoes on stage as Lucas, alarmed, looks around.
Uh-huh? Who's that? Who's there?
The giggling stops for a moment. Lucas goes to speak, but he is cut off as the giggling is heard again.
There it is again. I can hear a girl, but I don't see anyone.
Soon, the giggling is replaced by the sound of a girl singing softly.
Oh gosh, that sounds so beautiful. What a wonderful melody. Wherever this girl is, I must find her.
Lucas turns to gaze off stage as, from behind him, a girl who looks to be about his age comes on, almost gliding on air. She hums to herself as she comes up behind him, smiles, and taps his shoulder.
Pardon me.
What? Huh?
You should be more careful with that crossbow. You might hurt someone.
I could? Oh gosh, I could. I beg your pardon, miss, but I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's quite all right. You didn't mean it, I'm sure.
Of course not. Oh, gracious, where are my manners? My name is Lucas. It's a pleasure, milady.
Such a sweet gentleman. I'm called Medina. A pleasure right back.
That's the most beautiful name I've ever heard. And so familiar, too.
Is it?
Why, yes. I feel like I've read it in books and heard it whispered by people all the time.
Oh, have you?
Yes. Just think. How do you know that name?
I'll give you a clue. It's to do with nature.
Well, gee, that's a good clue. I suppose I'll figure it out eventually. So, tell me, how old are you? I'm 12.
Oh, I'm a bit older than that.
13?
No.
Young-looking 14?
No.
Gosh, you certainly don't look 15.
I'm more like 15. 1,000 years old?
A long beat. Lucas is not sure what to make of this.
15,000, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Are you putting me on?
I'm not, kind sir. I'll show you,
Now this I must see.
and you shall.
Slowly, she closes her eyes and outstretches her arms. Nothing happens at first, but soon we hear a low rumble, and a pink light again streaks across the stage. An echoing blast reverberates across the stage and fades out. Lucas stands, jaw dropped, as the lights return to normal.
That noise. You did that, didn't you? And there's that perfume smell again.
Do you have an idea yet?
You're the goddess of nature.
You figured it out.
Oh my. I'm so sorry, milady. I should have known from the start. But I guess since you appear to be my age, I was thrown off.
Oh, it's only because I'm one of the younger deities. Others have come before me. Long before me. Though don't let this fool you. I may look young, but I'm old beyond years.
Wow.
So, Lucas, tell me true. What brings you to my domain on such a lovely day like this?
Well, I'm here to prove myself to my father and brothers.
Oh?
Mm-hmm. You see, just because I'm more into poetry and writing and crafting, my brothers think I'm not fully a man. And never will be. And sadly, my father agrees with them.
Oh, goodness. That sounds awful. And not very fair. There's no shame in poetry and writing and crafting. Those are all very beautiful things.
I thought so too. But they've told me if I can hunt and find an animal to deliver to them for supper, they'll see me differently. And they'll consider me a man. So that's what I'm intending to do.
Oh. That explains the crossbow. I see. Dear me.
What's the matter? You were smiling a moment ago, and now you look upset. Have I offended you?
Please don't take this the wrong way, but I abhor the very practice of hunting. It hurts the precious system around us. The animals, the wind, the trees. It's just another form of cruelty to nature. It's so horribly barbaric. I just simply can't bear it.
Medina, forgive me for speaking out of turn. I would never talk rudely to someone. Especially a girl. Especially a goddess. But what's the big deal about hunting? Isn't that how we get food? Clothing? Supplies? I don't just mean killing animals without remorse, but mere survival. Don't you feel that's a fair compromise for the balance of things?
Somehow, I was afraid that might be what you would say. I want to show you something. It may not feel pleasant, but I think it'll help you understand. Come here a moment.
What is it?
In silence, she slowly puts a hand to his chest.
I'm not sure what you're doing. Why are you...
Suddenly, he winces in pain.
What? Ow! My chest. It's burning. What are you...
That burning feeling, that, Lucas, is the pain that every animal, every tree, flower, blade of grass, every gust of wind feels when man tramples and destroys it, either intentionally or unintentionally.
You're hurting me. Please stop. The burning is getting worse. I can feel it through my whole body now. Stop.
Forgive me. Please forgive me. But this is the only way you'll understand, Lucas. This may come as a surprise, but every day I take all of that hurt, pain, anguish, sadness of the animals, the forest, the grass, the air, nature itself, and transfer it into me. It's agonizing, and I wouldn't wish it upon anyone, not even the most cruel and evil of people. But it eases the pain of this domain. So tell me, do you feel the sadness, the pain?
Yes.
I'm beginning to see now that you understand the gravity of my words.
The pain is unbearable now for Lucas. His knees are trembling. He looks ready to collapse.
I do. Oh, God. So much pain. I never knew animals in nature could feel such pain. I'm so sorry. Forgive me, Medina. I'll never hunt again as long as I live. Never, ever. I don't care if my father and brothers never consider me a true man. I don't want to hurt a living thing ever. This I vow.
Thank you. That's all I wished to hear. I know that wasn't easy, but I'm glad your heart is pure enough to see reason.
She gently backs away from him, taking her hand away from his chest. Lucas sinks to his knees and puts his hands to his face, sobbing. Medina watches him with a look of pity and guilt. She truly did not want to reduce him to this, even if she was trying to make a point to him. She gently kneels down in front of him and takes her hands in his.
I'm so sorry, Lucas. I was just trying to show you the truth. I did not set out to hurt you.
I know.
I humbly ask for you to forgive me. I normally don't do things like this, especially to people like you, that I know deep down are truly kind beings. Here, let me.
She gently wipes his tears away with her finger. Then she leans up and kisses him on the forehead. Lucas lets out a calm sigh as she does this. She smiles at him as he looks at her.
Will you be okay?
Yes.
Good. Come, walk with me. Let's enjoy nature around us together. Please? For me?
Yes.
The two smile and walk off stage briefly. The lights dim, but then come up fully again. Lucas and Medina slowly walk back on together, and we are to assume they are in another part of the forest.
Wow. You know, it's also lovely, Medina. When you really take the time to look at nature, just all of it, you realize the wonderful beauty.
It is wonderful.
And just think, you made all of it.
Well, heavens, not all of it. I can't take all of the credit.
Gosh.
What's wrong?
It's just not what I would expect. First, you ask me for forgiveness from earlier, when you're a powerful goddess, and I'm just a mere boy mortal. Then you modestly say you don't deserve credit? I would never expect that from someone who is a goddess. Please forgive me for making assumptions.
I always try not to be like the other gods and goddesses. Though, I've been a bit lacking. I always promised myself I would talk more with mortals, to see how they're doing, to see what they're like, that sort of thing. But lately, I've never had the time to, or seen one worth talking to. You, Lucas, are so sweet and kind and wonderful. You're definitely one that I felt worthy to talk to. The first in a while.
Aw, shucks.
Oh dear, Lucas, you're blushing. And such a shade of pink, too.
I am?
You are. But it's so very cute. Just like you.
The two are now close together, their lips just inches apart. Lucas becomes aware of this, and he turns away bashfully. Medina also turns away shyly. The two are silent for a few moments. Then Medina turns back to Lucas.
May I ask you something?
Of course.
One of your pieces of poetry? May I hear it?
Oh, well, gee, I don't know if it's not really that good.
Well, how would we know that if you don't read it? Please. For me?
Oh, okay. I do have one in my pocket that I carry often.
Lucas slowly pulls out a slip of paper from his pocket as Medina backs up a few steps from him.
I call it The Path I Took Today.
And I can't wait to hear it.
Lucas goes to read the poem, but before he can get a word out, he sniffs the air a few times, then wrinkles his nose a bit.
Is something wrong?
Well, yeah, honestly, call me crazy, but all of a sudden there's such a horrible smell in the air.
Oh?
Yes, it smells like a burning, rancid, putrid smell.
Medina gets a look of fear on her face as Lucas says this. She obviously has an idea of why this is, though Lucas doesn't.
Gosh, I wonder what it could be.
Oh no.
Huh?
Lucas, go on ahead with me for a few moments. Would you?
Go on ahead.
Yes. Just go past that clearing there, please. Right there. I'll join you in a few minutes. I promise.
I don't understand.
Lucas, you must listen to me. Do as I say. You can't be here right now.
Medina, you're scaring me. Is something wrong? Are you in danger?
I'll explain later. Just please, go away from here right now. I beg of you.
What about you?
Lucas, do as I say, please.
Lucas hesitates for a moment, then he nods and hurries off stage as Medina looks around warily. She obviously is expecting someone or something to emerge.
Show yourself. I know you're here. Whatever form it is you've taken.
Moments later, a figure comes walking out onto the stage from the opposite side. He is a large, looming, imposing man, dressed in black and adorned with chains and animal pelts. Medina gasps as she sees him, and she backs away a few steps in fear. She soon stops her backing up, and she moves back a bit towards him.
So, it was you, Slow Goddess?
Yes, it is indeed Slogutus, a demon god of pain, misery, or nightmares. Medina slowly curtsies to him in greeting as, despite his standing as a malevolent entity, he is still a fellow god, and she has been taught to respect him.
Good day to you, my lord. What brings you to my domain today? As if I didn't know.
Slogutus ignores her. He bumps past her and begins sniffing the air around him.
Slow Goddess, I'm speaking to you. Why don't you answer me?
There's something here, near the two of us.
Well, of course. Animals and the nature are around us.
No. It's not the scent of an animal. It's that of a man.
A man? Around this part of the forest?
Not just any man. The air, it smells of someone young. A boy. A mortal boy.
Is that so?
Who is he? What's he doing here?
I'm certain I don't know what you mean.
Are you naive, girl? You think I don't know when someone is lying to me, especially a fellow god? Where is he? Where did you send him?
Don't do anything to him. He's just a boy. You said so yourself.
That matters little to me. He's a mortal here in these woods, and I always enjoy confronting those putrid beings and making them regret coming here.
Let it be. He's a kind, sweet, innocent boy. He's done nothing to deserve whatever evil intentions that you have for him.
Kind, sweet, innocent? All the more better to find him.
I won't let you hurt him.
You think you can stop me?
I'll try if I can.
Well, come then, milady. Do it. Stop me.
A pause. He smirks and grabs her wrist roughly.
Here, let me show you what I would do in your place.
You're hurting me, Slow Goddess.
That's the point.
Please, no! Let me go, I beg of you, let me go!
She said let her go.
Slogotis stops and turns to face Lucas, who, trembling, has walked back on stage, crossbow aimed at Slogotis's chest.
Oh, Lucas, no.
You're the boy? How pathetic looking you are. And what's this? A little tinker toy, I see.
He grabs at the crossbow and snaps it, almost like a twig.
There, much better.
Whoever you are, get away from her. Now. Just leave us alone.
Whoever I am. You, my young fellow. You're much braver than I thought. But a lot more foolish. Who am I? I'm fear. I'm devastation. I'm chaos. I'm...
Oh, goddess.
Ah, so you do know of me.
I've heard my father and brother speak about you in hushed tones, but I never thought I'd see you up close.
Well, you are now.
He looms over Lucas, who looks absolutely terrified, but wanting to help Medina, he does not run.
In a few seconds, I'm going to unleash absolute pain and torment to your entire being, boy. You have one chance to run, one chance to do something, anything. I rarely grant humans that right, so count yourself lucky. Come, try and do something, if you dare.
Lucas is silent. He eyes past Slogotis at Medina, who looks right back to Lucas, almost as if they're trying to communicate a plan without using words.
I'm waiting. But just know, boy, I won't wait much longer.
Lucas slowly squats down and scrapes his hand along the ground, scooping up dirt into his hand. He gets back to his standing position and, in a flash, he throws the dust into Slogotis' face.
Ah!
Slogotis is surprised and momentarily blinded as Lucas rushes to Medina and takes her hand.
Come on!
The two race off stage together as Slogotis recovers, wipes his eyes, and, surprisingly, grins a bit.
Clever boy. He might be a bit of a challenge. I like a challenge.
He slowly strides off as the lights dim briefly, then come back up as Lucas and Medina race back on stage, panting and catching their breath.
Are you okay?
Yes. Yes, I'm fine. Oh, Lucas. Oh, you brave, sweet, dear heart. You saved me. You're my hero. But you've given a death wish to Slogatus.
I did, didn't I?
Well, yes. Slogatus doesn't like to be fooled with. Or tricked. And you've just made him angry.
I don't care. He could chase me for the rest of my life if he wants. As long as I protected you.
You're the sweetest boy ever.
Thank you.
But we've got pressing matters ahead now. Slogatus is no doubt looking for you, and
He's found you.
Lucas and Medina turn and gasp. Lucas takes a protective stance in front of Medina as Slogatus backs them up.
Leave her alone. Do what you must to me. But let her go free.
no! Take me, Slogatus. I can handle whatever pain you want to inflict. Let Lucas go home.
Ugh. Such sappy little budding romance. How it makes me want to vomit. And even ignoring that, it's a very sad sight to see a goddess such as you, Medina, showing affection for a mortal.
It's called compassion for a fellow being. And you should try it sometime.
No matter. Now it's time for me to do what I set out to do.
He grabs Lucas by the throat and drags him to center stage as Medina gasps and follows quickly.
You monster! You brute! Leave him alone!
She beats at his back with her fists.
Stay out of this, Medina. Be lucky I've decided to spare you for your interference and transgressions.
He shoves her back with his free hand. She nearly falls over, but she manages to maintain her balance. She frowns and races back to him, pressing her hands to his back.
I said stop!
A yellowish light engulfs the stage briefly. Medina is burning Slogatus' back with her hands. He lets out a growl and lets go of Lucas.
Ah, have you gone mad? You side with a mortal over me? You need to be punished even more severely than I thought.
He stalks towards Medina. Lucas, thinking quick, grabs a rock and chucks it at Slogatus, nailing him in the back of the head.
You pesky little mouse.
He goes to grab at Lucas again, but this time Lucas is a bit too quick. He scurries out of the way and grabs another rock, chucking it at Slogatus' head once again.
I'm rapidly running out of patience. Stand still so I can end you, boy. I'll make it as quick as possible.
Not on your life.
Have it your way.
He goes to grab Lucas a third time, but Medina shoves Lucas out of the way. Without hesitation, he grabs Medina by the throat and starts to choke her.
You've done enough, milady.
No!
He grabs the chains adorned on the back of Slogatus and begins to pull on them as hard as he can. A tug of war ensues as suddenly one of the chains snaps off and Lucas tumbles to the floor. A brief crash of thunder is heard as Slogatus lets go of Medina and turns to Lucas.
What did you do?
I don't know how. It was an accident. I swear.
Slogatus takes a few steps towards Lucas, who is petrified but remains still. Slogatus, though, does not have a look of anger on his face. It's more of surprise. Surprise, being very impressed and very tired.
You pulled away one of my chains, boy. Not too many people can say they've done that and live to tell the tale. You really are a brave mortal. I've reduced grown men to blubbering tears, but you not only faced me down, you protected Medina. That takes courage and guts.
Lucas was not expecting this, so he remains silent in surprise as Slogatus looks towards Medina briefly, then back to Lucas.
I've grown weary of chasing you and her around, so I'm going to give you a very big reprieve. But just know this. It is your one and only reprieve. Everyone, man and woman, gets one. If I appear in these woods again and see you, though, all bets are off. Do you understand?
Yes, my lord. I do. Thank you for your mercy.
As for you...
He turns to Medina.
Shockingly, the more I think about it, the more I feel strangely moved by your compassion for this boy, so I will spare you also. But don't make this a habit.
Medina does not answer. Slogutta slowly begins to walk off, but stops and turns back briefly.
Keep that piece of chain. Tell your father and brothers it came from me. I think that will prove your manhood sufficiently, don't you agree?
How did you...
You forget who you're speaking to? I know many, many things. More than you'll ever know. Remember, one reprieve. That's all. Milady.
He has bowed to her, and finally, he is gone. Lucas and Medina both share a silent, "Is it over?" look, before finally, she rushes to Lucas and hugs him tightly.
Lucas, you were wonderful.
So were you.
I've never seen anyone do that before to him. I don't think I ever will as long as I exist.
I'm still trembling. Look at my hands.
Goodness. Me too. Me too.
Her hands have gone to his cheeks gently, and the two gaze longingly at one another as some quiet, sad music plays. Medina slowly breaks the silence.
Lucas, it's time for you to go home now. And time for me to head back to where I need to be as well.
I guess so. I don't want you to go.
I don't want to go either.
I'll miss you.
And you. I'll try and visit you as often as I can. I can't promise when, but I will. This I vow.
I love that a lot.
Well, then I guess this is goodbye for now.
Yes. Goodbye. For now. This isn't going to be easy. I can't just walk away now. After what happened between us, I'm about ready to cry.
I know. I have an idea. Close your eyes. I'm going to count to 5, and when I do, I'll be away. That way, you won't need to see me go. Does that sound fair?
Yes. It'll still feel painful, but at least I won't see it.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Slowly, Medina kisses Lucas on the lips. It is a semi-deep romantic kiss. Lucas's body tenses up in surprise and awe as Medina flutters her eyes closed. After several moments, she breaks away.
5. Goodbye, Lucas. Dear heart.
With that, she flits off quite quickly. Lucas is left on stage. His eyes open dizzily, and he smiles. He touches his hand to his lips briefly, then smiles.
Goodbye, Medina. You wonderfully beautiful girl.
Slowly, Lucas pulls out the piece of paper from his pocket again. He then pulls out a pencil and scribbles over the words presumably on it, and begins to jot down another poem, reciting it as he writes.
On the path I took today, I saw some animals headed my way. And when the dust was settled unclear, who was it that would suddenly appear? Beautiful goddess of nature.
Thank you very much. Great work, guys. I know Michael has business elsewhere, so I will wrap this up very, very quickly. Special thanks to everybody in the cast as they take their bows, their virtual bows. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Be on the lookout for our Christmas in July show, and be on the lookout for the Guardian game. And just thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks to the cast, and have a good night.
Good night, everybody.